Hi, so let's look at how we can enter the data in the Samrakshan Yodha Excel form. Now, once we have downloaded the Excel form from the IRIS site, from the particular folder, save it into your system in a folder in your system, and then you can go there and then you can open it. And this can be entered as an offline entry. Now, in the bottom, you can see, the bottom, once you have opened the Excel sheet, in the bottom, you can see that there is a menu button known as data, there is something known as code book, there is something known as graphs, and there is something which gives a bit of information about who has developed the Excel sheet. Now we are concerned mainly about the sheet data and the sheet graphs. So click on the tab data and then this sheet opens. And the top row is, I just made it in bold now. That's the headers, the header of the particular variables that are going to be used in the Excel sheet for entry. And you can see you have a unique ID where you enter the study ID of the or the particular identification number that you use for each woman. You have the name of the person, age in years, type of consumption, parity, some general information, and then you have information on the first trimester, which is again in a different color, information on the second trimester, which is in a different color, information on the third trimester, and information on outcomes. And at the end, you have got certain variables which are optional to enter. You can enter it or you can choose not to enter it. Now let's look at a few features of this. One important thing to note is that do not change the order of variables or the columns. Do not change the order of the columns and do not insert any column in between, any new variable in between. In case you want to add a variable, come down to the very end, and then you can add a new variable here. So if I say I want to add a new variable, which is saying, let us just say, for instance, I'm naming it XXX, I can enter it there and then I can do the entries here. So I don't change the order of the variables that are currently in the sheet. Now, some of these are numerical variables. Let's say, for instance, age. When we enter age, we just need to enter the number. We don't need to enter the units as in years. We don't have to, you can enter it as 21. We don't have to enter, and it takes it as two decimal points. You don't have to enter it as 21 years. It will take it, but that's not needed. You just have to enter the number. The unit is known. Now, for certain variables, we have given the option of a drop-down menu. So, for instance, type of consumption. What you have to do is just click on this cell, and if you will see at the side, you will see a small box with a down arrow. If you click on the down arrow, you will get the drop-down options for that particular cell. And you can then choose from that. Let's say I choose natural. Parity. Okay, there is a box. So I can choose. It's nully or multi. HTN in last, hypertension last pregnancy. I've got a whole set of drop-down options. So let's just say that I'm putting it as no. Diabetes in last pregnancy, I'm putting it as no. Here you can see there is no GDM, pre-GDM. Pre-GDM is type 1 or type 2 diabetes that's already existing before pregnancy. Thyroid disorders during pregnancy, you've got hyperthyroidism, no. So you've got the drop-down menus. The advantage of the drop-down menu is that it helps to minimize any spelling errors. It helps to maintain consistency of the entries. Okay. Now, so once you click on the empty cell, you can see if there is a drop-down menu, you will see it. You will see the click on the box, the arrow and the box, and then you will see the drop-down option, and then you can choose that. If there is no drop-down menu seen, then it's most likely a numerical variable or something where you can enter other medical surgical conditions. You can enter what it is. Okay. I'll just show you how the graphs work very briefly. So let us say that I'm making this P high risk. I'm saying it is no. P high risk, I'm saying it's yes. P high risk, I'm saying it's no. But before I do that, let me just show you that the graphs are empty, and then you can see how the graphs form. So let's go to a tab graphs, and you can see that all the graphs are empty. Right? All the graphs are empty. And then we'll start populating the graphs. So I'm putting it as yes, putting it as no, I'm putting it as no, I'm putting it as yes. FGR risk, I just put same. No, I'm just doing random entries, so they may not be exactly logical. I'm just putting random entries. I'm putting yes. And now let's look at the graphs and see what happens here. And now we see that we have got the high risk for FGR, we have got the high risk for PE coming up as graphs. As you keep doing this, you will find that the graphs actually will start showing you the exact number, will show you the, so you see here, it gives you the value, it gives you the percentage. Just go hover over it, you get the value and the percentages, and we'll also set it up. We are also setting it up so it's coming as a data call out where you can see the value and you can see the percentage. So this happens. Now let's get back to data, and you enter one row is for one woman. So you have the baseline data, demographics and other things, past obstetric history. You have the first trimester data of the woman, you have the second trimester data of the woman, you have the third trimester data of the woman. And you are able to then see what's happening. And then you have got the childbirth details as well. So till this part, we are putting the graphs. These are optional details that we can help you to look at if there is interest in that. For instance, FGR stages, I'm putting it as no, then I'm putting that there is stage 1 FGR, then there is stage 2 FGR, there is stage 3 FGR, there is stage 4 FGR, there is SGA. And let's see how the graphs come. So now we can see you've got FGR stages here. So as you enter, the graph populates itself. If you just hover over the colors, you can get the values. We'll also put it up so that the value, we're also putting it up that the values will come out as a call out. But for now, I'm just showing it for the purpose of the video like this. So that's how the entry is done. These are the only two things that you need to be looking at: data. And if you want to change data, you can change the data. So I'm changing this. I reviewed and I found it's actually a stage 1 FGR. I made it stage 1. I found that this was also a stage 1 FGR. Let's see what happened to the graphs. And now you see that it has changed. So it automatically gives you information on the conditions, certain of the conditions that you have, and you're able to look at your data in a more easier manner. So it's a very short video, and this is what you do. So if P risk is 1 in 50, I just enter 50. I don't have to write 1 in 50. If it's 1 in 135, I write 135. I don't have to write 1 in 135, just 135. Okay. Now, what you need to remember is that the graphs are based on the data that you enter. And as long as your data is complete and is good, you get good graphs. If your data is not complete, the graphs will not necessarily match with what your actual data is. So it depends on the data that you enter. And that's a very important point to keep in mind. So have fun, enjoy, and what we will recommend is that you fill in some data and send the completed data sheet to us at samrakshanira@gmail.com. And we'll then review, we'll look at the entries. If there is any need to correct something or to change something in your entries, we'll point that out, and we'll also make sure that your graphs are working properly. So have fun, enjoy life. See you soon.